Source material for dictionaries. We have different types of dictionaries, and different languages have different types of dictionaries. We are here concerned only for English language, how English gets its source material, right? So the vocabulary of English contains words from more sources than any other language as a consequence of its history and context with any other language. So we know that the English have been in contact with many other nations. In 11th, 12th century, they were ruled by the French, so they borrowed words from French language, and then after the Renaissance period, it colonized many countries. So it received borrowed word from those countries. So it was in contact with many languages. So there was an influx of words from those languages. The substratum of English is Anglo-Saxon. The first layer, the hidden layer of English is actually Anglo-Saxon, but overlaid on this stratum is a stratum of Latinate vocabulary. Then the second layer, which is very influential, is the Latin, because the Latin language was the language of the learned people. So a lot of words from Latin language came to be used as English words. The invading Germanic tribes, the Angles, Saxon and Jutes, also contributed to its richness. So these tribes also interacted with English and gave their words to English language, and its vocabulary got richer and richer. English has imported words from countless languages around the world, as we have just discussed, that wherever it went, it borrowed words from that language. Two basic methods by which a language may increase its vocabulary. However, there are two main sources of getting words into the language. First is use of material available. That is, a language keeps on making words on the basis of the material it has. For example, there are a lot of prefixes and suffixes, and with the help of those prefixes and suffixes, it keeps on making new words. For example, there was a word television. So with the help of it made a verb televise. So this process continues and it enriches the language. Import word from another language. As I said, a lot of words are imported. Tycoon, right? It's imported word from Japanese language, and there are so many words that have been taken from other languages, which we discuss in word formation in morphology. So all new words are added to the word class, nouns, verb, adjective, with the majority being nouns. So these words, some of the words are nouns, some verbs, some adjectives, right? But in the first place, generally the word enters the language as noun. So then after being a noun, it is started to be used as verb, and then from verb to adjective. And obviously, if the verb becomes adjective, it also becomes adverb. So they are all content word, meaning words. Other ways of forming words: compounding. Within the language, certain words are compound to form new words, and this adds new words to the vocabulary of language, like seat belt, book, shop. Obviously, these words are used in a certain context, and out of the context, they are difficult to understand. Derivatives, as I just said, that the morphemes, the suffix, prefixes are used to make new words. We have care, and we make careful, ship, and we make shipment. Acronyms, the first initials of different words are added to make an acronym. And ATM, automatic teller machine, and UNESCO, United Nations Education, Social and Cultural Organization. And loan words keeps on borrowing words, as I said: spaghetti, Italian, tycoon, Japanese. The data from which lexicographers draw their information have to be chosen to suit the type of dictionary they are planning. Obviously, the data which they need depends on the type of dictionaries, for which reader, which audience they are compiling the dictionary. So they will choose the data according to the user, end user in their mind. The sources of lexicographers: primary sources archive a lot of material, that is, we can say the corpora, the books, the magazine, and now it's it's on online resources, the corpus, a lot of corpus. And secondary field works, they make questionnaire and circulate them to student and to different professionals to get information. They see other dictionaries, they look up the things in encyclopedia to seek information, and they also refer to many websites. So this is the secondary source of obtaining material for compiling dictionaries. So the dictionary compiler gets their sources from different sources, get their material for different sources from both primary and secondary sources. But they have what they have in their mind is the end user. For the user, they are developing the dictionaries.